Hi, and welcome to part 6 of how to fix headache, brain fog, insomnia, weight gain, gut pain, and joint pain. Or if you've been watching this series so far, you know that that means hydration, proper hydration. Well, I'm Julie Crane, and I'm glad you're here. And just to recap where we're at as we've been going through this series of 6, we've learned the cues of dehydration. We've learned that 75% of Americans are dehydrated. So that's more than likely you and me. We've learned about the illnesses and diseases that can be caused by or exacerbated by dehydration. We've learned this amazing information about the 4th stage of water called gel or structured water. We've learned about how we can better hydrate through the use of using plants rather than just water alone. We have learned why smoothies are the best way to hydrate. And we've also learned how to create a timed release hydration using chia seeds in our smoothies. We've talked about the importance of adding a pinch of healthy salt to your glass of water or smoothie. Again, key on healthy salt, so be sure and listen to that one and why you don't want to use a table salt. And then the last part, part 5, we talked about the fascinating facts about fascia. So hope you have your smoothie near if you haven't drank it yet. And let's get into part 6. So here is the big news. Motion keeps you hydrated. Yes. There are hundreds of studies out there that prove how important exercise and movement is to our health. But the groundbreaking news is that movement plays a critical role in hydrating from just drinking and getting it down to the cellular level. It doesn't take a lot of movement. Just the simplest and smallest motion can help get water to all parts of the body. Without movement, hydration doesn't get all the way to our fascia or ultimately to our cells. So question, have you ever been a little annoyed when you're sitting next to someone who is fidgeting or bouncing their leg or making some other kind of fidgeting movement? Well, don't. Instead, follow their example. Why? Well, one study reported in the American Journal of Psychology in 2016 had young men sit still for 3 hours and fidget just one leg. They found that 1 minute of fidgeting for every 4 minutes improved the circulation of the fidget leg, while the vascular rigidity of the non-fidget leg actually increased from baseline measurements. So, the fidget leg improved in circulation and the non-fidget leg actually got worse. So authors concluded that the simple behavior of fidgeting is sufficient to counteract the detrimental effects of prolonged sitting. Let me correct myself. I said American Journal of Psychology, and it's actually the American Journal of Physiology. So excuse me for that. Another study was done that very same year in 2016 that included 12,776 British women who looked at only one thing. Would fidgeting protect their longevity? And what they found was that it did. Women who didn't fidget much and who sat for 7 hours a day or more were actually associated with a whopping 43% increase in their risk for all-cause mortality, while their counterparts who did fidget showed no greater increase. 43%, that's amazing. So if you need a reason to get up and do some micro movements, that should give you a very good reason. So remember that motion ignites cell function. Unless you are moving, your cells are not in high function. They are not hydrated or charged. So we talked about before about, the hydration creates, it's like an electrical system and it creates current. So when they're not hydrated, they're not charged. And this can affect all kinds of systems in our body. So how does this all work with hydration and movement? Well, it actually comes back to that amazing network that's beneath the skin that we learned about in part 5, so last time, and that's the fascia. As you know, the pulley-like muscle, or as you move, the pulley-like action of the muscle combined with the fascia and the skin stretching across our skeletal system simultaneously pushes hydration far more deeper into our tissues and squeezes the body's cells into action. So this can be done through micro movements, these small movements. Any motion, large or small, stretches the tissues and generates the energy. So the movements don't have to be big and enduring. You don't have to start running marathons or doing major things like that. The cells are tiny, and tiny movement is big movement to a cell. So these micro movements make a huge difference. The second thing besides micro movements is twisting motions. So whether it's your arms, legs, neck, or spine, a twisting emotion is super efficient technique to create that active waste management system. So it's just like wringing out a wet dishcloth. So you wring it out, and then it's ready to accept and take on fresh fluids full of oxygen and nutrients. So these things are often found in things like Tai Chi and yoga and Qigong and dancing. So just know that when you're doing a twisting motion, as you draw or as you complete that twisting motion, your body draws up the fluids that are full of oxygen and nutrients. And twisting is actually an amazing, efficient anti-inflammatory tactic. So it will help improve your joints as you do these twisting movements, as it helps flush those areas out where inflammation tends to stay. So what we're going to review today is some of these micro movements. If you were from the 50s, that was kind of before my time. Maybe pull out those records and start to do the twist again. Wasn't that from the 50s or the 60s? Sorry, I may have my era wrong. So that's one way to get started. Maybe you'd like a little dance music on. But what we're going to do is we're going to run through this morning routine. I want you to see how quickly you can go through this and how easy it is to do. So it's broken up into a morning routine and an afternoon routine. The morning routine we're going to do focus on upper body. The afternoon routine is going to be focused on the lower body. So to begin, we're going to drop our chin to our chest, and we're going to do it 3 times. So inhale as you drop the chin to the chest, and then back. Exhale. Second time. One more time. And just notice if you feel a gentle tug across your shoulders and up your neck. That's what we're looking for. Next, we're going to draw circles in the air with our chin. So we're going to start and do 3 small ones, and then we'll do 3 larger ones. So 1, 2, 3. Now large ones. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the opposite direction. So again, small circles, 3. Make sure that you continue to breathe while you do this. You don't want to hold your breath. Now 3 larger circles. Now you may notice that, like me, you have a little bit of crackling sounds going on as you do this stretching. That's crepitus, and that's actually an indicator that there's probably some kind of inflammatory response that either has been there or currently is there. As you continue to do these movements, that will improve over time as that inflammatory condition improves and your joints will get more fluid. And okay, so let's move on to the next one. Next, we're going to draw a figure 8 in the air with our chin. So figure 8, we're going to do 3 of those. Again, make sure that you breathe in, breathe out, don't hold your breath. Now we're going to do a figure 8 in the air with our nose. So draw it with your nose. Again, you may feel some of those kind of crinkling sensations, or at least you should be feeling like a stretching through your neck. Now we're going to move our ear over to our shoulder. We're going to do it to each shoulder, and we'll do it 3 times to each shoulder. Oh, sorry, I said that wrong. We're going to drop our ear to our shoulder, not move it. That's actually the next movement. Now you may have some resistance here. I'm experiencing some neck pain that I've had for a few weeks. And so I have a little bit less of a range of motion this way. But just do what you can. Your range of motion may be better than mine, or you may have less range of motion than I do. Doesn't really matter. We're all just starting from where we are. And just do the best you can. You don't want to cause yourself pain. So once you hit that point of kind of resistance, or you want it to be stretching, but we don't want to get to a place of where it's actual, causing you pain. Okay, so here was the other one that I was trying to get you to do before. Is in this one, we're going to move our chin to our shoulder, and then we're going to look down, move our chin down, and go up. Then come back to center, other side. I'm gonna look down and look up. Over to the right side again, down and up. Left side, down and up. I'm gonna do that one more time again so that we have 3 on each side. To center and down and up. Good. Now we're going to take our shoulders. Now with your arms bent, I hope you can see me back here with your arms bent. We're going to move our arms backwards as if we were trying to get our elbows to meet. So again, my arms bent. So we're just going to squeeze those together and release. And again, move them backward as if you're trying to get your elbows to meet together. You're going to feel this squeeze in your shoulder blades. So release. And one last time. Again, bring those shoulders back. Try to bring your elbows together. Again, we're just doing it till we hit resistance, and then maybe a little bit more to stretch that, and then release. And then our last one that we're going to do here is we're just going to drop our chins to our chest. Let out our breath, and then raise our shoulders, scrunching them up to our ears, and then quickly drop the shoulders. So again, chin to chest, raise our shoulders up to our ears, scrunch them, and then drop. Again, chin to chest, raise the shoulders, kind of squeeze, 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 and then quickly drop. And then one last time, chin to chest, raise your shoulders, squeeze, 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 and drop. And you have just completed the morning routine. Hope that feels good. It kind of feels good to me. And it feels like I'm getting a little bit more energy. So I'm going to also run you through the afternoon routine, lower body. So you can do this. Oh, and I wanted to mention the morning routine. Many of those you can do while you're still laying in bed if you want. You could do these chin to the chest and, the figure 8s and those kind of things. So sometimes it's fun to do a little stretching in bed before you get up. Okay, so now to begin the afternoon routine, you can do this sitting or standing. I'm going to do it while I'm still sitting here on my chair. Is you're going to sit with your hips facing forward, and then we're going to twist to the right, and then we're going to return to center, and we're going to do that 3 times. So we're going to twist, kind of hold that for a second, and then return to center. And again, remember the importance of breathing in And then breathe out when you release. And then the third time, inhale and release to center. Now we're going to do it to the other side. So inhale, twist, and release. Again, inhale, twist, and release. And inhale, twist, and release. Good. Good job. So I am definitely not an exercise or yoga teacher. So hopefully this just gives you enough information so that you can start to do these on your own. So the second one we're going to do, we're going to stand in a doorway. And that's actually why I have my chair faced this way. So we're going to want to go over and find a door frame. And we're going to put our arm up. Hopefully you can see me onto the door frame. And then while we're standing here in the door frame, we're going to twist to the right and then to the left. So you just, and we're going to do that 3 times. And what you should feel, so you may want to adjust where you're standing, is you should feel a pull down this lower part of your arm and down into this area. And so it might take you just a little bit of figuring out exactly where you want to put your arm so that you are getting that twist. This is a especially good maneuver for women because it helps move waste out of the breast area and improves the circulation in that area. And it's not an area that we are often using when we're even in exercise to be twisting in that particular movement. So I would encourage you to really start adding that to your routine. Now, sitting back in your chair, what I'm going to have you do is just drop your hands to both sides of your chair, grab the seat underneath, and while holding that seat underneath, I want you to pull up while straightening your torso. And then release. Again, take a breath, breathe in, hold, and release. And then one last time. Breathe in, hold, and release. Now, while sitting in your chair, you won't be able to see me do this, but I'm sure, hopefully I can describe it well enough that you'll know how to do it. So while sitting in your chair, lift up one leg off the ground. So lift up your knee a little bit and just roll your ankle in a circle. So do 3 circles, one direction, and then do the circles the other direction. Put that foot down, pick up the other one. 3 circles, and then 3 circles. Then wiggle your toes. And it's really good just to often wiggle your toes. And then for the last maneuver, you stand, you have your heels firmly planted on the floor, and you raise the toes of one foot. You do that 3 times. If this is difficult for you to do standing, then begin sitting in a chair. It's the same thing, just have your heels firmly planted on the floor and raise your toe of one foot, and then move to the other foot. And then you're going to want to do both. So lifting the toes of both feet. And that is the afternoon protocol. So as you can see, these are easy movements. You only do them to the point of where you get resistance. So they're going to be a little bit different for each person. The key is just to get up and start adding these micro movements to your everyday routine. That's what's so important. So a couple of other things I want to tell you that are just really interesting before we sign off for today is to talk about Norman Diage, MD, who is a neurologist, and he was the author of The Brain That Changes Itself, found that when you align the micro movements with a micro memory, it creates a winning combination. So when neurons fire together, as when, you know, there's a neuron firing from movement and a neuron firing from memory, and they're activated at the same time, they actually make a stronger connection. So how to do this is just think of the last time you felt really good. So close your eyes and think, you know, when did I feel really good and healthy and vibrant and full of energy? So lock into that image of when you felt that. For some of us, that might be yesterday. For others of you, that might have been quite a long while ago. I know over the last 8 years where I have been experiencing health problems that I've never had before, I have to go back a ways before I get to the point of where I really felt healthy and vibrant. But I am grateful that those days are coming, and I am feeling better and better each day. Anyway, so hold on to that image. And now while you're holding on to that image, activate the body memory by going forward with coupling with micro movements. So again, just something as simple as a twist. So hold that memory of vibrancy and healthy and full of energy while you're doing a twist or while you're doing another micro movement. This will help fire and align your brain cells to body movement and help find the path back to that feeling of being vital and healthy. Another thing that they have found that I wanted to share with you that's just really interesting and can be used to help really make a greater impact is tapping, or EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. I have learned this technique in the past, and I do occasionally use it, but being reminded of what it can do has reignited my desire to start putting it into my daily routine. Now, EFT or tapping is basically tapping lightly on key points on the face, head, and body. And we do this along with positive affirmations. And what this can help with is it can help decrease pain and help decrease how we experience trauma and gain more trauma relief. So it's a self-help technique, and it involves tapping on these points of energy meridians that are located around the body. These ones are all on the face and the head. And what they will do is reduce physical tension and promote a more deeper mind-body connection. So I'm going to let you, it'll probably be a while before I'll end up doing one on this topic, so you're welcome to Google it to learn a little bit more about EFT. But it was described in the Journal of Nervous and Mental Diseases as combining elements of cognitive restructuring and exposure techniques with acupoint stimulation. You know, which that's great to hear, right? But the key and the really important thing is that this technique was taught to veterans. And what they have noticed is it has accelerated their recovery rate from post-traumatic stress disorder. Often in under 10 sessions, they're experiencing relief. And it has been noted with a 69% recovery rate for our vets, which is amazing. And it's higher than any other kind of medical intervention that has been used. So it can work for you too, if there's past trauma that you're trying to work through. So the key points that I really want to drill down today is that movement actually draws hydration all the way through our tissues and into our cells. Drinking starts the hydration process, but movement completes it. So there are 3 essential principles of hydration that I want to review again. One is absorption. We want to get the maximum absorption from the water that we drink so that it will get to our cellular level where it can produce energy and not just pass through us. 2, getting water from food. Eating foods high in water content can help boost deep hydration. Plant-rich smoothies will hydrate you far better than the same amount of bottled water and deliver high-level nutrition to boot. And 3 is movement. Crucial micro movements to deliver hydration right to key places like necks and joints to help keep you flexible and pain-free. So to review, the quick start that I gave you the very first day is when you first wake up, drink 8 to 16 ounces of water with a pinch of healthy salt and a squeeze of lemon juice. Or just pop that little, squeeze it out and pop that lemon in there so that you get the essential oils from the lemon peel too. Drink at least 1 fresh, raw fruit and veggie smoothie every day. Not one purchased off the shelf, but one that you make in your blender fresh, because the enzymes and the nutrients will dissipate over time. So you want to drink it right after you make it. And drink 6 to 8 ounces of water before every meal. And you want this to be a gel or structured water. And what you get for this, what you get for making the effort of doing all these things, is that you will begin to lose your brain fog and you'll have better concentration. You'll overcome your fatigue, especially that afternoon fatigue, and you'll start to have an increase in energy. The cell function in every system will be more effective. You will have improved digestion, improved elimination, and improved toxin removal. Your sleep will get better and it will be deeper. You'll have increased flexibility in your joints, your muscles, and your fascia as they get adequately lubricated. Your weight loss plan will finally work, and that's what I'm hoping on, because I'm planning on that next. And you will eliminate bloating and swelling, and your inflammation will diminish as your waste system improves and starts to flush this out. So remember that your food choices can put an end to most of the modern fatigue that you experience. So I invite you to leave behind this old way of thinking about how you hydrate and move more into this better and deeper hydration. Next week, I'll be sharing some tips about another cornerstone of good health, which is sleep. So hydration, sleep, very important in our life and vitality. So thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.